Are you interested in promo sharing with other disability podcasters?
I would love to do that. That is a kind of advertising or promotion that I would happily do any day for disabled podcasters whose content is in the same vibe, I guess, as mine, or is unified in mission.
Cross promotion is always interesting. It can't be where people want to get on your podcast and use your cachet to get into a certain market. You can't co-sign everything.
I think all of the podcasters we interviewed were interested in promo sharing.
Both Kutsia from Down to the Struts and Keith from Black Disabled Men Talk raised some points to consider when thinking about promo sharing.
Maybe it's best for us to start at the beginning and explain what a promo is and what it consists of, as well as how promo sharing works.
Sounds like a perfect plan for an episode titled Promo Sharing.
Welcome to Pod Ask Us.
Isn't it Pod Access?
Can it be both?
Connecting deaf and disabled podcasters to audiences and each other.
When we say promo, we're talking about an advertisement for your podcast.
Promos are quick. Think about your favorite meal or favorite Scooby snack. Chances are you only need to taste a small amount to entice someone to help them decide if they want to give it a try.
That small forkful should have a bit of the most important aspects of the meal. You don't want to have just the rice if the sauce is what really makes this meal bump.
Sauce. Your promo is a sample of your flavor, your podcast's vibe. This really goes back to the conversation we had with Sophia Webster on branding. If you haven't checked out that episode, you really should.
It's a great episode no matter where you are with your podcast. Perfect for someone in the developing stage, but also extremely helpful for those who may be further down the road.
So what exactly are the ingredients of an effective promo?
First, as mentioned, is short. Less than 60 seconds, preferably 30 seconds or less.
Consider covering your bases by having multiple versions for different situations. Some podcasts may agree to run a 60-second promo, where others are more likely to offer 30 seconds or even a 10-second promo. You could have them all ready.
Use audio clips taken directly from your podcast to help convey the overall vibe.
If you're using music, use something that matches your podcast aesthetic.
You don't want to change your podcast vibe from hip-hop to classical music in order to match the vibe of a specific show, agreeing to run your promo.
Unless your podcast vibe is edgy language, keep the promo clean. There are lots of podcasts that won't run your promo if it isn't clean.
It may seem obvious, but don't forget to include the name of the podcast and where to find it.
And the end of the promo should invite the audience to do something specific, like visit your website or podcast directly.
You may want to consider creating a template for each of your promos so you can easily update or even customize a promo for a specific podcast. The idea of using your platform for another podcast to advertise may at first seem counterintuitive. However, factoring both the element of exchange and the realization that just because someone consumes one podcast doesn't mean they wouldn't consume another.
In fact, people often look for more podcasts that are similar in topic or style to one they already enjoy. I know I do that.
When agreeing to share a promo, you're actually agreeing to share your audience. Therefore, it makes sense to target an audience that is made of a similar demographic to your own audience.
So if I ran a podcast specializing in adaptive sports, for example, I may not want to share promos with a podcast about knitting. It's not to say there's no crossover between people who enjoy adaptive sports and people who enjoy knitting. It's just they're probably very different audiences.
I would, however, want to share promos with a podcast focusing on wheelchair basketball. There's most likely an overlap in these audiences.
Now that you have your promo created, you identified a suitable podcast for sharing, you should really consider the terms of the share.
This doesn't need to be any sort of legal contract, but it should be a list of specific terms that each party can agree on.
For example, you might not find it fair if you ran someone's podcast promo for 3 episodes, while the other party only runs your promo once.
So be specific about how many times you all are agreeing to run the promo and during what time span. Will you run the promo 3 times during consecutive episodes or 3 times over the duration of a year?
Some podcasters may prefer a host read over running a pre-produced promo. While this might not convey the vibe of your podcast, it may be more effective if it amounts to an endorsement. And endorsement is what you're going for.
Audience members presumably like and trust the host, therefore are more likely to act on the suggestion and listen, read, or watch the podcast.
Whatever you decide, the terms should be fair and beneficial for each party.
Some other things to consider in addition to the type of promo and length. The number of runs, as in one time per episode, over 3 consecutive episodes, for example.
And where you play it in the episode. Is it at the top, the middle, the end, or is it just a standalone on the podcast feed?
At Pod Access, we see promo sharing as a way to not only grow the audience of individual deaf and disabled podcasts, but help bring more visibility to the community as a whole.
The benefits of an increased audience can help lead to sponsorship opportunities, as well as other financial, social, and political gains.
This has happened to several of the podcasters we interviewed for this series.
That's why we're creating the Promo Exchange database.
This repository will serve as a way for both audiences and podcasters to find podcasts of interest.
Audiences seeking new content or podcasters open to Promo Exchange will be able to explore the database. While audience members can listen, read, or watch a promo and decide to follow the podcast, podcasters will have the ability to contact another creator to facilitate a promo share.
Promo shares aren't the only way to promote your podcast. Keith Jones from Black Disabled Men Talk offers an alternative approach.
We're always into partnerships. The only way to really build authentic community in the way that we're trying to do it is to absolutely do cross promotion for cross brand topic, cross issue topics, because identities are not monolithic.
Perhaps this is interviewing other podcasters, working on episodes together that run consecutively across 2 different podcasts, or some other way that encourages audiences to listen, read, or watch both podcasts.
Remember that one time you and I sat down for one long session and recorded? First, you interviewed me for your show, and then I interviewed you for my show, and we were all set. And I put together 2 different episodes out of that conversation, and you did one.
That's right. That was the beginning of our friendship and working relationship. Here's more from Keith.
If you want to talk about immigration, men's health issues, women's health issues, we're open to a lot of that. But you got to be right with it.
Being right with it or holding up your end of the agreement. Give and take. It's called promo share after all. Collaboration, exchange.
Have you created your promo? What are some ways you have or plan to collaborate with other podcasters?
Let us know. Go to podaccess.net and hit the Contact Us button.
And you can upload a voice memo or write a message.
And you might just hear it.
Read it.
Or see it in a future episode of the podcast or on social media.
Tell a friend and an enemy to follow or subscribe to Pod Access wherever you get your podcasts and on Instagram at @ThePodAccess, @ThePodAccess.
Podaccess.net.